Hello, guys. I hope you are having a pretty nice day today. And I hope you also are ready to this lesson because today we are going to talk about standard input in Bash scripting. Remember that we are covering the Linux course or the DevOps course on Linux. And in today's lesson, we are going to continue in our Bash scripting section. And maybe some people used to learn about standard input more far away in the sense that maybe it's I think it's not a pretty advanced level. It's just something entry level because I think it's important to know how you can receive information from the user or from outside and use that information inside your bash script or your program. So in this lesson, we are going to cover even before, I don't know, loop extractors or conditional extractors, something like the read command that allows to just get information and store that number boolean string inside a variable and use that in some way. As you can see, or well, you already noticed that we are using Windows, and maybe for some purposes I'm using Windows, and from today or starting today I am going to I will be or record this course in Windows because I have some problems using Linux. But don't worry about it because you already know, or maybe you don't, that we have something called Windows Subsystem for Linux that allows to virtualize a Linux session using a command line inside Windows. So that's pretty nice. And in my case, I am ready. Well, this is not the session at all. I have to execute Debian, and as you can see, I have a pretty operative Debian shell. So, and even this is funny because this is my main developer environment. I prefer to teach this lesson inside a Docker container. So also I'm going to use the Docker run command in interactive mode and use Debian. So yeah, we are ready. So first of all, remember something important that maybe someone you guys are used to call this like an instruction or like a command. Well, the concept doesn't matter because this command just right there allows to just get information. Doesn't matter if you are using like a shell in my case or executing this instruction inside a bash script or a scripting file. So first of all, I want to show you how the read command works in a standalone way. For example, let's execute this command and see what happened. As you can see, it look like my terminal is blocked or doesn't respond, but actually is waiting for my input information. So I can type something like hello Chrislow, but as you can see, nothing happened, nothing relevant happened. Why? Because we are not saving this information inside a reference like in a variable. So how can we create a variable that is not inside a scripting file in our terminal session? So remember that the scripting file and the terminal session is the same. It's just the bash script is just like another context, another session, but we are using the same instruction. So in that way, we can initialize variables as we used to do inside a scripting file. So for example, and remember, to create a variable, we can use something like name, and if I'm not wrong, I can initialize this variable in this way. So, for example, Chryslo. As you can see, there are not errors. And yeah, it looks weird because if I use, I don't know, name space equal Chryslo, this going to throw error. So be careful with the syntax, the bash syntax. And we can use, for example, use this variable in this way, but be careful with the reference or the variable reference. Because if I use echo name, as you can see, we have name. We don't have the reference of name, well, the value of the name. Why we see name? Because echo is using the name as literally a string. It's not the reference. Well, it doesn't even the reference. So if we want to use the value of this variable, we have to use the $sign. In this case, echo $name. And in this way, we have Chryslo. But what happens if we pass a variable as a first or second argument, doesn't matter, of the read command? So let's see. If we use read and name, well, I have to use another name. Let's see, my real name is Christian. And if we use echo name again, as you can see, we have Christian. Actually, well, just right now, name has the Christian value. And don't worry, because you don't have to create another variable. It's funny. It's just like we can use read my bar and something like, I don't know, 89. And if we use echo my bar, as you can see, we have the name. So if we pass this instruction as a scripting file, it will be very useful and easy to understand how this works, how this really works. But before that, let's see how we can to I don't know, give some ideas to the user or the other guy behind the program. What I'm talking about how to give a message to indicate, hey, I need your age, I need your email, I need your name. So in in that way, we have to use echo -p and the string as a message. For example, please give me your name. And after that, or at the end, the variable, I don't know, variable 1. And as you can see, I think that something is wrong because I use echo instead of read. And as you can see, we have please give me your name. Well, it's pretty hard to understand because we have also the typing thing just right there. So if I type something, it's just close to the name and maybe it's pretty hard to understand, but don't worry. The idea is just like we can use a space and of course, I don't know, Chris. And if we use the variable 1 variable, we can see that we have the Chris value. So variable 1 and we have Chris. Of course, we can improve this input in the following way, because this is not understandable at all. Of course, we can use, I don't know, a space character, and maybe it's a little bit organized and understandable. But I prefer break line or break the line. Use the invert slash and n. I'm talking about this. But how we can use this? So let's try something. Maybe you used to type the break line in this way, and maybe you are not grown, but yeah, of course you are grown. But why this isn't working? First of all, because this parameter right there thinks about or try to understand this string as a string, of course, ignoring the format. Maybe you try to use a other kind of a quote, or if you are trying to use these special characters, or of course also we have enter, well, breakline enter is the same, or tab that we can use the T and other ones. So just to fix that, we have to make the following 3 steps. First of all, we have to change the double quotes by single quotes. The second change is put at the beginning of the string the $sign. And the third and last change is use the R and E argument. So in this way, we are telling to the read command, hey, try to think about this string as something that we can format using a tabulator. We can use breakline, another one. So let's try again and see what happened. And as you can see, we have please give me your name, breakline, and I feel free to type whatever I want in the following line. So this is pretty amazing. So let's try to create a scripting file in the same order. So let's create something like, okay, I don't care if we create the scripting file in the root directory because we are using a Docker container. So at the end of the lesson, I am going to delete this system or this operative system. So in my case, doesn't matter. So let's see. Okay, I don't have NeoBeam, so I have to use apt update, apt upgrade y, and apt install NeoBeam. And well, wait for a few seconds. Once source package has been installed, let's use NeoBeam and create something like script.csh and start with something basic like being bash, but in a few seconds I am going to show you a pretty interesting thing about bash and sh is sh, of course, without b and a. So let's see what happened. So remember, read rep rep $, single quote, I, give me your name, please, close single quote, and the variable name. In my case, I'm going to use name. And after that, we are going to call the name, hi, name, how are you? And let's see what's happened. Well, something interesting about this is my idea behind these videos is also inspire you or try that you by yourself try to execute something different than are you watching in this video. What I'm talking about, I'm trying to tell you, hey, what happened if we try to send this message using single quotes than double quotes? What happened if I remove this $sign, or in other hand, put that $sign? Because the only way that you have to understand one language or scripting language or programming language is just like get used to with the language. So try to understand what works and what doesn't work. In this case, let's see if this works, because I am not, to be honest, I'm not sure about this. So let's save this script file, give the execution permission to this file, and let's see what happened. Well, I can use bash script.csh. Give me your name, please. I forget to put the break line, so let's add the correction. We include all the steps, but not the important. And okay, I'm sorry. Remove this, save, and execute again. Give me your name, please, Chris Lowe. Hi, $sign name. How are you? So something something is not correct. All right. So let's go, and I don't know what happened if we use double quotes. Maybe it will change something. Will change something. Will it change something? I'm not very sure at all. Let's see what happened. Okay, Chris Low. Hi, Chris Low. How are you? So as you can see, there are pretty difference, tiny difference in even with the single and double quote, but that change the whole program result. So it's pretty important that you try to you try to see what happened when you change something, because that's the only way to learn programming language at all. And in another hand, let's do a experiment and let's try to change the command line interpreter. So let's go to NeoBeam script. And what happened if I use sh? Let's try to. Okay, I'm sorry. I for being sh. Save and execute the program again and see what happened. Please, Chris. Well, nothing. Well, there is nothing new. Okay, there is nothing new because even I put at the beginning of the file use the sh. I'm using bash at the end, so we are using the bash interpreter to execute this file. So let's execute with our interpreter and let's define the interpreter inside this file. So let's see again, and as you can see, we have some problems. For example, read using the sh doesn't have the e param, so this throws an error that doesn't allow us to include some variables. So yeah, that's a big deal. Why exists sh and people use bash? Well, remember the last episode I mentioned that we have different interpreters, command line interpreters, and in the history of Linux, at the beginning where is h, but time ago another tools was improving, including the command line interpreter, and in that case born bash. If you remember, sh is the shortcut of shell, but bash is the shortcut of the born. I'm sorry, I don't remember. Almost done. Born again shell. So it's like sh dot 2 or something like that. So that's pretty nice to understand. So that's the reason why all people use at the beginning of the files being bash, to use the bash interpreter to execute this script. And today we use bash for all the scripts, but depend, because if you remember, we also have another interpreters like sh, oh my goodness, csh, that maybe allows to or give us more tools than bash or fish. So I hope this video was helpful, and see you in the next time. In the next time, we are going to cover about the standard input, the standard output, and the standard error. And let's see how we can handle in our own scripts a standard output and a standard error, and also how we can handle that outputs to maybe save errors from a specific process inside a specific file, and the rest of the other information in another file or something like that. Or just once we execute a command, avoiding to see the errors or the reverse, just see if something is wrong, just looking at the errors and more. So I hope this video was helpful, and see you in the next time. Bye bye.